Well, move on. And we were talking about big icons, big idols, and them being used in politics. Again, without any other relevance, simply appropriating legacies. But apart from icons, there is this one other face-off point right now brewing in West Bengal. And that's about our religious idols. The BJP and the TMC have locked horns yet again. This time over Jai Shri Ram slogans. Now, viewers, for some time now, the face-off that's been brewing has been over Jai Mai Durga versus Jai Shri Ram. And it looks like this election season in West Bengal, it could be one of the big campaign issues. Unfortunately, not about social reform, but about religious slogans. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee hit out at the BJP for raising the Jai Shri Ram slogans at the Netaji's birth anniversary. If you missed it, there was a dramatic exit that Mamata made from the stage yesterday, complaining that blind radicals are trying to tease her at an important government event for Netaji, adding that she shouldn't have been insulted after being invited for this event. But this isn't the first time there has been a controversy about this.
বলুন তো মা বোনেরা আমায়, আপনারা যদি আমাকে খেতে ডাকেন বাড়িতে, আপনি ডেকে কি বলবেন যে তোমাকে এক থাপ্পড় মারবো, বেরিয়ে যাও বাড়ি থেকে? বলবেন কখনো? এটা আমাদের রীতি নয়, এটা আমাদের সৌজন্যতা নয়, এটা আমাদের ভদ্রতা নয়। নেতাজি সুভাষচন্দ্র বোস আমাদের সবার নেতা, সবার, সারা দেশের, সারা বিশ্বেরও অনেক জায়গার। তার প্রোগ্রামে গেলাম, এত বড় সাহস কয়েকটা গর্ধগদ্দার এবং কি বলবো আমি, উগ্র গর্ধ ধর্মান্ধ আমায় টিস করছে দেশের প্রধানমন্ত্রীর সামনে বসে। ওরা আমায় চেনে না। আমায় যদি কোনো মা বোনেরা বলে, মা আমার ঘরে এসে আমায় বাসনটা মেজে দাও মা, আমি বলবো হ্যাঁ মা দিচ্ছি, কারণ এটা মেয়েদের কাজ, ছেলেদেরও কাজ, আর আমি ঘরের কাজ করাটাকে ভালোবাসি। কিন্তু আমায় যদি তুমি বন্দুক দেখিয়েছো, আমি কিন্তু বন্দুকের সিন্দুক দেখাবো। আমায় যদি বন্দুক দেখিয়েছো, আমি সিন্দুক ভরা বন্দুকের সিন্দুক দেখাবো। কারণ আমি সত্যিকারের বন্দুকে বিশ্বাস করি না, আমি রাজনীতিতে বিশ্বাস করি। রাজনীতি দিয়ে আমি এর প্রত্যুত্তর নেব। আমি তো বললাম যে তোমরা এসছো, আমি ধন্য, কিন্তু তোমরা এটা ভেবো না, তুমি যদি নেতাজি করতে, আমি তোমাদের স্যালুট জানাতাম। তা না করে যা করেছো, বাংলাকে অপমান করেছো, নেতাজি সুভাষচন্দ্র বোসকে অপমান করেছো, এর আগে রবীন্দ্রনাথ ঠাকুরকে অপমান করেছো। রবীন্দ্রনাথ ঠাকুরের জন্ম জোড়াসাঁকোয়, তোমাদের নেতারা বলে গেছে রবীন্দ্রনাথ ঠাকুর জন্মেছে শান্তিনিকেতনে। শান্তিনিকেতনে উনি বিশ্বভারতী তৈরি করেছিলেন। তার আগে ঈশ্বরচন্দ্র বিদ্যাসাগরের মূর্তি ভেঙেছো।
Now, this outburst and this, in fact, parts of the speech that she made at a rally today are coming close on heels of what happened yesterday. And then, today, the West Bengal BJP unit released a video which is essentially about the slogan Jai Shri Ram and directly targeted Mamata Banerjee, saying that the Ram Rajya will now resonate with all Bengalis and adharma will end in the state. So essentially now, BJP has picked up on this issue and are now making it the biggest talking point in West Bengal. Let's say good evening to the panelists who are joining us this evening. Riju Datta, a member of the TMC with us this evening. Tuhin Sinha, leader of the BJP. Shikha Mukherjee and Gautam Mukherjee, senior journalist, joining us right now. But I actually want to start off with Riju Datta. Riju, is this election now going to be about Ram versus Durga, Jai Shri Ram versus Jai Mai Durga?
No, Tanvi, first of all, good evening to all the panelists. We have been in power in Bengal for 2 terms. And we have never taken, the crutches of religion to, forward our cause. But the sad part here is, Jai Shri Ram was it used to be a very warm greeting. But now, the way BJP has politicized religion, it is used as a linking war cry and a bullying tagline. BJP has ransacked the idea of Jai Shri Ram, and that is where the problem lies. Because what was the need of chanting Jai Shri Ram in a function where the Prime Minister and the Chief Minister have forgotten their political divide and they're sharing the same stage to honor the legacy of a patriot, of a martyr? What was the need? There was no need for it. And today, Amit Malviya releasing this video has proved it once again that BJP has no political manifesto on development or on the infrastructure for the upcoming Bengal elections. BJP is pura a Ram Bharote party. And you know what will happen? What they're doing is very good. They're taking the help of religion to advance their cause in politics. After 3 months, the people of Bengal are going to say Ram Naam Satya Hai to BJP. And that is all that is going to happen.
No, but if you think it's just a warm greeting that everybody uses, then why are you playing into the hands of BJP by responding? Why does Mamata Banerjee get so agitated every time, Riju? One time her convoy was passing by when people were sloganeering. She got out of the car, got into an argument with them, started yelling at them. Yesterday, she walked off the stage. Why is she giving it so much importance and making it sound like it's a crime to use this slogan?
Like I said, the name of Jai Shri Ram has become, and it is an open secret in this country, has become a mere political slogan which is used for bullying, which is used for heckling. It is unfortunate. And that is why not only what happened at Victoria Memorial was not only disrespectful to Mamata Banerjee, it was disrespectful to the Prime Minister of this country, it was disrespectful to Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, and overall it was disrespectful to a woman who went there to attend the government function. Have you noticed that when Prime Minister Modi took stage, nobody said Jai Shri Ram, nobody said Bharat Mata Ki Jai. The problem with BJP Tanvi now is if you ask them a question, they are going to write Jai Shri Ram 100 times on the answer sheet. And if you cancel it and give them 0, they'll say, oh, Ram ka naam kaat diya aur 0 de diya. That is what their politics have come to. They have radicalized this country, and it's a very silent radicalization which people are not realizing.
Tuhin Sinha, I watched that video, and you can take on the government, you can criticize the chief minister, you can talk about TMC's policies and issues and ideologies, but why does it have to be about Jai Shri Ram?
Tanvi, I have been following the outbursts of Mamata Didi, and unfortunately, she has been showing the same petulance, churlishness, and immaturity which has been the hallmark of Rahul Gandhi's political career. Now, I want to take you back to 29th October 2013. On the eve of the Sardar Patel's birth centenary, the then Prime Minister Mohan Singh had reached Ahmedabad when Modi ji was then the Chief Minister of Gujarat. And a very similar situation played out in Gujarat, where in an event organized by the Congress party, Modi ji was given a very hostile treatment. There were slogans against him, yet when he took the stage after the then Prime Minister Manmohan Singh's speech, what he spoke about Vallabhbhai Patel was an eye-opener for the Congress party, who did not even know, most of them did not know about Vallabhbhai Patel's contribution in the Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation. Over here, Mamata Banerjee, for somebody who has been in political life for the last 45 years, should have shown greater maturity. She deprived the people of Bengal, of an opportunity to hear her views on Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. And today, Bahua Mitra, a sitting MP, can you imagine she does not recognize Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose? This is the way, in its sheer frustration, in its sheer despondency, that TMC has been insulting the memory of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, which is very unfortunate.
Okay, before I go across to the two journalists, Riju wants to respond to the last comment that was made.
Yes, just a quick response. Regarding the Netaji portrait, everybody from senior journalists to politicians, a lot of people got confused, and there was a social media hype. But I will make it clear once and for all, it is an avoidable controversy, and we will never drag the position of the President of India or, spoil the dignity of his chair. If he says that's the portrait of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, it is the portrait of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose, and let's draw a line here. But regarding Tuhin's comment on moving ahead, if a woman is being heckled in front of the Prime Minister of a country, if a woman is being disrespected, if Netaji Subhash Bose's legacy is being disrespected, and the Prime Minister does not say a word for it, there is no need for her to show maturity and carry on. She has shown
enough maturity by protesting against it, but she did not quit the program. She was there till the end of the program.
No, that's not the only time she's lost her cool when such slogans have been made, whether it's while her traveling in a convoy and somebody on the road is shouting the slogan, or if she's at an event on the stage, the reaction is the same. Let me bring in our other two panelists as well, to Shikha Mukherjee first. Shikha Mukherjee, there was a time where Mamata Banerjee's response to any kind of Jai Shri Ram sloganeering or BJP's saffron push would be to say, no, but in Bengal, it's Jai Mai Durga. We are bigger believers of Mai Durga, and this ploy of yours is not going to work. Now, is she now sensing a shift in that, and will she have to redraw her strategies?
Well, let me make a couple of positions clear first, which is that Jai Shri Ram was a slogan that was popularized in 1992 when the Ram Rath was taken out by L.K. Advani. Since then, the Jai Shri Ram slogan has been used in multiple lynchings, and where the victim has been forced to say Jai Shri Ram, and sort of has, even despite which they have been beaten. The Tabriz Ansari issue is very, very clear. It went viral on video across the world. So we know that the Jai Shri Ram slogan is not an innocent slogan. Going back to your question of where Mamata Banerjee stands, I think Mamata Banerjee is making a political statement. And that political statement included a protest against the use of the chanting of Jai Shri Ram at a venue which only distracted from the event and diverted attention away from Netaji Subhash Bose. Now, I think that Jai Mai Durga is not a slogan that Mamata Banerjee uses frequently or routinely or any such thing. Basically, when you watch her at a public rally, you hear her chanting other kinds of slogans which are entirely to do with the Trinamool or about the opposition and how they have to be packed off. Therefore, I am not sure that this is Mamata Banerjee's icon versus the BJP's icon, or this is a BJP icon, a slogan versus a Mamata Banerjee slogan. I think there is a political point, and I think that political point is important. Also, the fact is that having the BJP is making too much of an event which needs to be now put into the past, for the simple reason that the BJP chanting Jai Shri Ram is fine. It does not have to convince any person, be it in West Bengal or across India or anywhere else, that this is their slogan and they want to, and they prefer to chant it. There is a need to go beyond this Jai Shri Ram fracas and then move on to the politics that is important in West Bengal at this point, because the BJP has to come up with what it wants to say about more things than just Jai Shri Ram. This is sort of narrowing the political focus down to, did Mamata Banerjee react to the slogan and insult Netaji Subhash Bose? I mean, come on. There was Mamata Banerjee who walked 6 kilometers, addressed a massive rally, and said whatever she had to about Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. And that happened in the morning. The Prime Minister's event was in the evening, and it was a very limited audience event. What is the BJP going on for about this Jai Shri Ram and turning it into a big issue?
Well, because one would assume that BJP believes it's an inherent part of their DNA and it's something that works for them politically as well. Gautam Mukherjee is pushing these kind of slogans going to work for BJP as a strategy in West Bengal, though? Gautam Mukherjee.
Tanvi, in Bengal, when you take a corpse out on the way to the crematorium, you say Ram Naam Satya Hai or you say Hari Bol. Yeah. Now, what's happened is, as far as Mamata Banerjee is concerned, she jumps out of her skin every time she hears Jai Shri Ram because she sees it as her political death knell. And every time, the kind of things she has said, she's jumped out of her car and said, I will tear the skin off your bodies, and sent her security people after, sort of perfectly good Bengalis who say this as an opposition thing to her misrule for 10 years. And coming to Netaji, nothing's happened in 10 years. Now she's talking of erecting an INA memorial. She's under pressure because the center, Modi, has descended on her and put the wind up everything. So this is, yes, I agree with Shikha Mukherjee. I agree with the earlier panelist who said Ram Nam Satya, he's got it spot on. And what is happening now is that this is a political war cry to get rid of the TMC. There's no two ways about it. But having said that, why is that wrong? And what has that got to do with anything? Now, some people said, Jai Shri Ram in this Victoria Memorial thing. She could have handled this in a multiple ways instead of going into this petulant little, sort of thing she does almost every time. She's so used to throwing a fit that she doesn't do much else. Now, there's no logic to any of it. And the BJP is definitely not stopping at a slogan. When it comes into this state, if it succeeds, it is definitely going to do something about actual development instead of taking all the money from wherever and misappropriating it to this and that, creating cadres and thugs, and trying to get by on misinformation. Besides, she had a program in the morning and she didn't want to participate in Modi's program in the evening. It's as simple as that.
Well, yes, okay. As far as the event is concerned, there was quite a bit of a question mark, but we did see unprecedented visuals of both of them sharing the stage at the end of it for Netaji's anniversary. And of course, then another level of drama unfolded. But I just want to quickly refresh the memory for everyone. Now, this is what happened in the run-up to the 2019 general elections. And keep this in mind, BJP did quite well when it came to the general elections in 2019 in West Bengal and the number of seats they got there as well. BJP attacked West Bengal Chief Minister at that point of time, with people chanting Jai Shri Ram. Where Mamata Banerjee's car was passing by, she stopped, she came out, she said, why are you running away? Come here, who do you think you are? You are abusing. And then the BJP picked up on that, and then they released videos and they started a campaign saying Jai Shri Ram is not really abusing anybody. This is not what it is. And in fact, that was tweeted by the BJP's Bengal Twitter handle. Then you had the big leaders of the BJP also responding. Amit Shah speaking on this in the very next day, saying if we don't chant Jai Shri Ram in India, will be chanted in Pakistan. Mamata Banerjee responded, accusing the BJP of making Ram an election agent, while the party had not even built one Ram temple. She invoked the state's most famous deity and asked the BJP, what do you know about Ma Durga? Do you know how many hands she's got and how many weapons she is carrying? There have been a huge amount of controversies, again, of the TMC government in Bengal, first putting in restrictions for Ram Navami celebrations, then realizing that this is going to become a big thing because BJP will run with it. So in turn, their own ministers started organizing and playing up Ram Navami celebrations. Unfortunately, this is the truth we are staring at. It's happened before, it's happening again. Why does the BJP believe it will help them when the TMC thinks it won't? Tuhin Sinha.
Tanvi, we are very clearly battling the TMC's legacy of corruption and violence. Those are the two issues which we are battling against. As far as Jai Shri Ram is concerned, we've used it, it comes naturally to us. It is a fact that the TMC is so desperate at this point of time that it wants to invoke a cultural war when there is none. It wants to convince the Bengalis that BJP is a non-Bengali party. I have been on shows where TMC leaders refer to Mr. Nadda or to national leaders of BJP as do paise ka neta. That's what the mentality is. But the point is, if we can make inroads in the northeast, what is it that makes the TMC believe we cannot win Bengal? Fact is, today the people in Bengal are so disillusioned by this culture of violence and this culture of corruption which has been propagated by Mamata Banerjee over the last 10 years that they believe that TMC is basically an extension of the left rule which they had seen since 1977. And they are very clear they want to change this time, and you will see it in May 2021 when you see BJP winning.
Okay. Quick response from Riju. Yes, before we wrap up.
Yes, covert dictation, public pronouncement, and the most, BJP has transformed this country into the most dangerous form of unitary rule. BJP has nothing to show for development. Does they resort to communal and divisive politics to polarize the electorate? Whereas Mamata Banerjee is riding on our political agenda of development and good governance. I ask the BJP spokes all the time, what is your political agenda for the people of Bengal if you do come into power? They have no answer. Their only answer is Jai Shri Ram. So
He's responding, but Riju, he's saying it right here. He's saying to get rid of the corruption that's taking place during your time. He's saying to get rid of the violence, to bring in some law and order in the state.
Absolutely. When will the industry finally come to Bengal? The people of Bengal have been waiting from 1977 for the industry to finally come into Bengal.
One at a time. Riju Datta, please. Yes.
Yes. So I just want to say before wrap up is that it's very rich when it comes from BJP spokes about law and order and corruption, when on the event on an auspicious day of Republic Day, lakhs and lakhs of farmers are standing against the central government and doing a tractor rally. So it is very rich when they talk about law and order and corruption. And if they talk about corruption, आप लोग ने जो PM केयर का चंदा उठाया, where is that money? I have seen only 4 pictures of a ventilator.
Okay, I am completely out of time, so I'm going to come in here and say thank you to all of the panelists who've joined us. We're going to have a lot more conversations. The campaign season for West Bengal, Tamil Nadu has just begun. Assam and Kerala also go to polls, but right now there is a lot of focus on the face-off that's taking place in these two places because the BJP has decided to really take on the established political circles in these two states, especially in West Bengal. It's not going to be an easy task for Mamata Banerjee, and she needs to tread very, very carefully from here on. BJP has its strategy cut out, very clear, set already. They've already brought in their big guns, and they are going to question and surround Mamata Banerjee from all sides, whether it's Jai Shri Ram slogans or the question of political killings, or challenging her on appropriation of legacy of our icons from Rabindranath Tagore to Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. All of this will become election fodder in the coming months. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.